legendary activist and atheist Aron Ra agreed to spend the day with me to learn Street Epistemology. You can find a link to that fascinating video in the description field below. This is a video of the live stream that we broadcast immediately after our training session. Hey everybody, what is going on? We just spent the last, how many hours have we been at this? 6 hours?
Yes.
I'm wasted. I'm chocolatey wasted. What's going on? Hey, I'm here with Ra and Aron Ra, and we just did a whole day's worth of Street Epistemology training here in San Antonio, Texas. What's going on? And it was interesting, huh? We got a lot of footage. Aron's walking right in front of me here. I think he's mad at me.
No, he just... Aron.
We got to make a right here, but do you want to say hello to some watchers right now?
Watchers?
Watchers, we got some viewers right now.
Oh,
there's
okay,
about 44 people watching us.
Oh, very good. That was fun. I got to say, I got really tired of being nice, and then right there at the end, we had somebody that was a little more scrappy, an apologist who had obviously never had this conversation before. So that was a great deal of fun.
Yeah. So I had my work cut out for me today. As we know, Aron is a big player in the atheist movement, well known for his very assertive style of debating with people. But we made some progress today. He was getting progressively better throughout the day, I thought. And whether or not he takes these learnings and incorporates them into his style or not, the fact that he gave it a try is really huge in my book. We're right here, bud. We got to pay parking. And he did a great job. He really took the time, took it seriously, and I could tell that he really wanted to learn it and get better at it. And that was huge to me. I'm going to hand the phone off. Do you want to just do a quick hello to these people?
Hello, hello. Yeah, that was a bucket of chuckles. We did not get accosted by security, as was some concern at one point, which was all good. I don't normally go walking around college campuses with cameras packed on me without being followed by some kind of security agency. It's just something happens when you get this age. You know? don't hang out in the college campuses with a big old camera. Hey, anyone want to make a movie? Yeah. So. That's great. But we did have some interesting conversations. Different topics.
The one that sticks with you the most?
The woman that said that everyone is either born good or born evil, and that they can never change. And I thought there was missed opportunities there because Anthony did not ask her, well, which are you? Because I was getting a real evil vibe from her because she believes apparently in false dichotomies with extreme, duality issues. I mean, you can't ever have a middle-of-the-road person. You can't have a good person doing bad things, bad people doing good things. No, they have to be all the way on either side of the scale. I would have thought that was an extreme position.
Yeah, that definitely could have been explored better. But hey, I can't think of them all on the spot. I think I disappointed Aron. Okay.
That was the stupidest thing I've heard anybody say in a long time.
I've never heard somebody take a position that everyone born is either good or evil. The one that stands out in my mind the most, Aron, is the karma discussion. We met a woman who believed in karma. She ended up nearly completely abandoning her belief in karma at the end of a short 10-minute talk, and unprompted talked about how much she enjoyed the conversation. I love that. I love those moments where somebody comes to the realization that they're holding a belief because it makes them feel good, that it's probably just in my head. Oh, it's dropping out? That's shitty. Okay.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. Hold tight, guys. It should be unlocked, isn't it? Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have you guys just ride along with us because that's how I treat my live stream followers. I give you all the behind the scenes stuff. Okay, I'm gonna just keep this going if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah.
All right, we've got 200 people watching, and
Don't you have homework to do?
Let's see. I'm gonna here. How is that, guys? Can you see us better?
Yeah.
And there's a little laundry.
Wave, Leonard.
We are in a parking garage, so just hang tight. I think the signal will get a little bit better as we leave.
The last guy was certainly looking for a fight, but it's surprising whenever I encounter those people. I mean, like, really, you've never had this argument before. You're going to tell me there's no transitional species. Honestly, you're going to use the 9th foundational falsehood of creationism, and you've never heard otherwise. And you can never get them to concede the point either. That's the funny thing.
Well,
you always want to change the subject without ever making the concession.
But did you recall where I stepped in there and I asked them, I said, oh, are you going to go or not? Okay. Hold on. I got to drive. I asked him if Aron could provide you with evidence, would it change your mind? Sufficient evidence. And he said yes. And then you adequately, responded with an example of what it would take. But then he just dodged again.
Yep. Because they always do. That's the thing about the foundational falsehoods. They never concede. They always have to change the subject. You can try to pin them, but they'll never say, okay, well, I'll grant you this and then move on. No, that never happens. And then they'll go up to the next guy and challenge him to provide evidence of transitional species, knowing full well in advance that they already know a whole list of them.
Yeah.
I'm debating somebody in Houston in 2-3 weeks who's doing the same thing. He's going to say there's no such thing as a transitional species, no such thing as a fossil, as a missing link, and then he has all of this documentation for Australopithecus afarensis lucy. So he knows, but he's just going to deny.
I almost lost it at the end of the last talk, where Aron was discussing why this guy believed in the Christian God, and the guy said, "Hey, nice talking to you." Shook our hands, and he said, "Can I just leave you with a book suggestion? I'd really like you to get a book by Ravi Zacharias." And Aron, I started laughing because Aron said, I actually was trying to debate him at Harvard, and he wouldn't respond to my request.
It was actually some other group that was trying to set it up, but they couldn't do it. He wasn't going to have it.
I think that kid just, I think you blew him away with that one. But all in all, my gosh, we've been out here for about 5 hours, maybe 4 hours total. Talking to people, recording conversations, and also talking about what street epistemology is, when it's a good time to use it, when it's a good time to not use it.
I did actually learn something from that, at least as far as not getting people to be... That last guy, he wanted the confrontation. The last guy was looking for a fight. So my old method was completely justified with him.
It all depends on your goals.
Yeah.
If your goal...
Well, his goal has to matter too. He wanted a fight. He was going to be all apologetics. And he's going to, because the very first thing he said, when we talk about why people believe, you have these beliefs, you mean like atheism and evolution? Oh, so you're going to try to project now. Yeah, it's on.
It took me a very long time, Aron, to turn that off and focus on the epistemology of it. And listen, I know it could be fun. You get your heart going, and your blood is racing. Listen, I've been there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a handful of buttons, and this guy said, when I said, "What is your evidence?" and I kept asking, "What is the evidence?" and he says, "I just told you." No, you just described what a worldview is. You did not give me any facts that indicate creation. And he says, "Well, there's life, right? There's the evidence of evolution that I already presented. We have life. We have two different explanations for life. I gave you my evidence for why I'm right, which you did not contest. Now give me your evidence that you're right." And his evidence was the circular argument that he has assumed conclusion that he said that life exists, therefore God. Why is there therefore God?
Let me ask you this question. If I had a conversation with that guy, or you had a conversation with that guy, which of the two conversations would have resulted in him thinking about why he believes it more?
I think that last guy, me.
we still have more work to do. Yeah, Aron should be on Periscope. If you're at all on Twitter, it's so easy to create a Periscope account. You can let your subscribers know that you're live broadcasting, and they can interact with you. I get some of the best ideas from the people that watch my live streams.
Well, old guys in technology.
We're about the same age, aren't we?
The interweb, that's a system of tubes.
I was born in 1970.
62.
Okay, yeah, you are a little older than me. Okay. All right. Well, we should probably stop the stream so we can decompress from our.
Well, I got more satisfaction out of that last one.
It all depends on your goal. If you enjoy the fighting and the confrontation.
Well, that's what he wanted. That's why he was standing there, leaning into the conversation, listening the way he was.
They're like, stream the decompression. I'm fine letting it run if you guys are, but if you want me to stop it,
I'm fine. I mean, I did come to learn, and I think I did learn within that. But that last conversation was not about trying to be reasonable. That Green.
Let's yeah. Okay.
That last conversation, that guy just wanted to fight.
No, he clearly did, because he was standing off to the side with arms crossed, with a scowl on his face, listening to the last conversation that we had.
Yeah. Thinking, I mean, this is the pretty part, that he was prepared. Isn't that cute? I love that. They always come in like they've never had the argument before. How many times do you think he's talked to somebody about, well, where's your transitional species? And he hears a list of Latin names he doesn't know fuck about, and then just dismisses them all, and then goes to the next person and asks for the same thing. How many times can he have that same thing explained to him before you need to get it recorded so that you can say, okay, well, so you know about Archaeopteryx and Lucy and why they qualify as transitional species. So then when he wanted me to meet Rabbi Zacharias, and I said, no, Rabbi Zacharias refuses to meet me.
That was awesome. That was really the best. Like, oh shit. And then you mentioned how your book is for sale.
The #1 new release in Christianity on Amazon.com right now.
Okay, so even though I try to be very calm and methodical and respectful, when I meet somebody that is arrogant in their confidence,
yeah,
it's hard for me to not get sucked into that.
When they start,
even me, like I find myself wanting to start ramping it up.
Well, when they start asserting their faults onto you, like accusing me of atheism being a belief, of evolution being a belief, and accusing me of my presuppositions, right? Sorry, no, the word presuppositions doesn't apply to my perspective. And then he goes on to describe a worldview. I asked what is evidence. I gave the definition of evidence, and then he starts giving me the 4 points of what a worldview is and what the 4 questions that a worldview has to answer are. And I said, well, great, you've just confirmed for me for the first time ever, because I've never really given this much thought, that I do not have a worldview. Thank you. So now that we've done that, we've had this irrelevant discussion on what your worldview means, and I don't have one, can you provide me the evidence of creation? Which, of course, he never even considered, didn't even listen to the definition. What part of objectively verifiable fact did you miss? And he doesn't understand that, okay, so we have a thing, life, we have 2 different explanations. What's the evidence that yours is correct? Life exists, therefore God, therefore I'm right. Presupposition.
Yeah.
I know because I know. And we would have made it a lot longer time with that guy, but I would have beaten him down. If we could have made this an online conversation, a half hour, done.
And therein lies the disconnect, I think, between the street epistemology approach and the typical approach that we see with atheists. That when I'm done with a person, I want them to be eager to meet with me again, because they have given it a lot of thought, and they're more prepared to have the conversation. Like they've actually thought about it.
Well,
I try to end the conversations in a way so that they'll want to talk with me again, and I'll give it some thought.
Do you not ever encounter the holy warriors like that last guy?
Oh yeah, there's a video on my channel right now with a lady named Mary, the old lady that we saw this morning.
Mm-hmm.
That gave me the hug. I had it. She was a hit and run, just boom, boom, boom. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. The blood of Jesus, lift him up. Boom, boom, boom. And before I knew it, she was gone.
So you accomplished nothing.
They are out there, but listen, if you can start a conversation with somebody, and it doesn't have to be on the street with a camera, but if you can start a conversation with somebody that that is a partnership. How can we work together to figure out how you came to that belief? You will usually take more time to think about it. And if, like that lady this morning with karma, she didn't have a good reason for holding the belief. I think we probably dropped the stream because we're like in the boonies here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no, we still got threads coming up.
They're popping up now. I don't know if you guys, maybe it's just laggy.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little frustrated with this guy too, only because I want to close that argument, and 5 minutes isn't going to do it. And of course, I want to have the real-time conversation standing there in a courtyard, where all you can do is you're on equal ground with respect that you can just pull shit out of your ass and just say stuff that the other person's invariably going to ignore. But when you get into like a discussion forum where you can actually pull up the evidence, or any kind of online discussion where here's a link. I'll give you 5 minutes to check that, just to show that what I'm telling you is actually true. And then do you concede this point? And that's where you stick them, because they never ever will. If it's one of the foundational falsehoods, they'll never.
But that goes back to what we were talking about, that before we even spend the time engaging with somebody in an argument or providing them evidence to counter a belief that they have, that has no bearing on them holding the belief.
But
why do it?
But then they realize they can't concede it. And the really twisted
But
thing.
what usually happens there, Aron, is that they shut down. They'll never talk to you again. So isn't it better to just identify the root cause of the belief?
Well, I can't say that they'll never talk to me again, because I've gotten emails from the people that I've had those kind of arguments with.
Yeah.
And
I have no doubt that you do.
Yeah, and there have been occasions where somebody has told me that I actually changed their mind in the middle of the argument. They just weren't able to admit that in the midst of the argument.
Good. Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah, and there are a ton of people in the private Street Epistemology Facebook group that are atheists because of the work that you've done. But they see value in the SE approach.
And I do too. I do too, because not everybody is dishonest. Not everybody is the type of... this guy was, like I said, he was a holy warrior. And he just wants to do the apologetics game, and he thought he was prepared for that. And I can't imagine what sort of people he normally talks to. But this isn't a situation where you're going to get away with it. I can prove my point. You flat out can't. And I don't mean to brag about it. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Let's field a question from the viewing audience. We've got 184 people watching live from around the world.
Gus, you're popular. People recognized him. Yeah, nobody recognized me.
That's not true.
What's not true?
Who recognized you? Sean did.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, somebody passed us by and said, "Hey, I saw you at Reese Rally."
What did the Christians say to you, Lalandra?
She said, "Is that Anthony from YouTube?"
That's wild. And I never interviewed her, as far as I could tell.
No, I think she just saw you from YouTube, and I was like, I thought at first that she was interested in street epistemology and a fan that way. And I told her that sometimes she hang out with a local San Antonio group of skeptics, and she said, "No, I love the Lord."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well,
I didn't want to make her uncomfortable.
Well, it's weird about this. How do they recognize you? Because you wear a GoPro on your chest that points away from you.
I think I went the wrong way. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah,
That's all right. It's a nice neighborhood.
How do they recognize me? Yeah, because usually the camera's focused on the person that I'm interviewing. That's a good question. Well, I Periscope a lot, so maybe it's through that. I don't know. That's a good question. What I do find interesting, though, is there's an on-campus ministry that was getting so concerned with the conversations that I was having with their followers that the leader approached me, and I actually approached him.
Look at the front
I think we
entrance of
turned
that
here.
house there.
Yeah,
Isn't it gorgeous.
This whole place is awesome.
We're in a hell of a neighborhood right now. You wouldn't believe the houses around us. I was like, dude, that's where Elvis lives.
We had a talk today with a woman who her claim was that Elvis didn't die on the day that everyone thinks that he did.
Yeah, and what was the reason? Because somebody misspelled his name on the headstone. He was always his middle name was always spelled like mine.
This was a freaky day.
It was.
Like, this is like I'm like a kid in a candy store with you guys out here.
Yeah,
Seriously.
there's some crazy people in San Antonio.
Well, we're at our destination. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the stream. Thank you all for watching. Aron has a shitload of footage to upload and edit. I don't envy his task.
Yeah.
There's one talk about karma that maybe I'll add captions on
Okay,
and then
yeah,
send
we
you
do
that
need
footage
that.
because it was a little noisy in the background. That was probably the highlight. But he's got a lot of examples. I have no idea what he's going to throw up there. He can make me look like a complete idiot, and him look like a complete saint. Or, I don't know what he's going to do. We'll see.
Well, I don't know. I can't make myself look like a saint no matter what I do. Once you pull up the driveway, because we got stuff in the trunk. Thank you guys for all the love. I'm sure it's all for him. But
And, hey, maybe we can get Aron on Periscope one of these days. Take care. Tweet at him. Tell him that he should do that. Bye-bye.